Boku here, chapter 126 review. Hopefully it's not that bad of a video as my last one. Anyway, it's Midoriya wants to meet Night Eye, who apparently worked under All Might back in the day when he was in his prime. And because Midoriya, since he learned under All Might, he thinks he can learn a thing or two from Night Eye, maybe from like a different perspective on how to be a hero. This whole chapter is just, you get some backstory with the dialogue of All Might and Midoriya, where he tells him, oh, there's reasons why I don't want this one, because I don't want the internships right now at this moment. So apparently the school is trying to like butting heads on whether or not they should do the internships with the young students going off with the heroes, because based off of the villains' moves and their tactics, they think it's too risky, and I kind of agree. And every time Midoriya or someone goes out with another certain hero, the villains show up and they want to wreck shit. And fuck, that previous chapter, man, the Yakuza are in. This guy knows how to lead, man, and he has the experience to fucking lead the villains and to help the villains grow and become a greater threat. I can't wait to see where this leads. But anyway, you have, instead of All Might wanting to do the introduction, because he apparently is too embarrassed to meet this guy face to face, Night Eye, because he became what he had predicted he was going to be all along, and that's old and decrepit and almost useless to being a hero, other than him being a mentor. As far as this like the chapter goes, the build up and the comedy, like it's a good balance, and it's really funny, and you get to see how All Might is like kind of embarrassed, and he doesn't like it when he is proven wrong, and he doesn't want to see this guy face to face and like be like, oh, I told you so. And he's letting his personal feelings get in the way. So it shows that his condition is still very much affecting him, and it shows that All Might is still going through a phase on his own. He has his own little character arc, and they show it by bits and pieces. They're doing it through action, and it doesn't kind of affect the story in a way. We're not going to have a whole side story of All Might doing inner monologues. Oh, dude, this is how it feels so bad. How could I grow out from this? But they show bits and pieces through action and through like a little dialogue where you kind of catch and you're like, okay, All Might's still having trouble with this. He's still struggling with his new condition. But anyway, the way he introduces Midoriya to Night Eye is through Togata. And by the way, this guy, his power, it felt like Tobi's power from Naruto, but then they add a little twist to it, and of course it's a completely different character. But I'm pretty sure there have been other anime or manga who have had powers where you can slip through them. So I'm pretty sure if any person sees this and thinks like, oh, stop fucking saying Naruto, I'm sure other manga have done this. I'm not saying it's a ripoff, because like the explanation is pretty cool, how he kind of like, he can't see when he holds his breath. And his character is kind of interesting. And on top of that, you have All Might admitting, oh, if I hadn't met Midoriya, Togata would have been my man. But would he still be his man? Because he had his own quirk, and All Might was quirkless when he got one for all. So does one for all still work on the other person if he does have a quirk or he doesn't? I'm not so sure how the explanation goes. I'll probably have to check back again, look back in other chapters. Or have all people who have had one for all, were they quirkless? Does it still work if you have another quirk? That's my question. I'm wondering that. But yeah, you have Togata and you have Midoriya. And there's one thing that kind of like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting bugged again about this. How many times has Midoriya had to explain himself on why he wants to be a hero? Like, so many times. And I'm like, okay, we get it. He wants to be the savior and stuff like that. He wants to be the great hero. And Midoriya always has to give that explanation to people. Like, what kind of hero do you want to be? Everyone's always asking him that. And I'm like, okay. It's not like it's stupid, but it's kind of like, it is kind of tiring to hear that explanation and show a flashback of him crying again. But whatever. It's Midoriya's character is that way. I mean, it's not like he wants to keep explaining, but he has to constantly keep explaining it to people. I guess in the hero world, people want to know, what kind of person you are. But man, can we do it like a little different way besides him like looking down and flashback and then turning like this, making all serious eyes? I'm like, ugh, like I'm kind of tired of those kind of panel drawings. But anyway, the last part of the chapter was pretty hilarious, where you see how Night Eye is. He pretty much, he looks serious, but he loves humor, and his sidekick, for her not being humorous, apparently he's like tickling the shit out of her with the feathers, and it looks pretty funny. And Midoriya, he sees his stern eyes, and he's like, oh man, I have to be humorous, and he like goes into All Might's face, and I died of laughter from that. But then Night Eye goes, are you making fun of All Might? And then it looks like Midoriya fucked up. So I'm pretty sure in the next chapter he's gonna be all serious and he's gonna start laughing about him making fun of All Might. That's how I see this going. As far as this whole like story is going, I'm really liking how Kacchan's character has turned out. You know, they handled it well. How he was kind of like, I really understood why he wanted to fight Midoriya, and they added their own twist on how these two were fighting. It was a good fight, but it wasn't like end of series kind of fight. I'm not so sure if we're ever gonna get that kind of fight. You know, I kind of hope we don't. I really don't want these guys to fight. Them fighting being like the main thing, but I want them to come together and be partners, and for them to grow into being partners. There's plenty of time for them to grow being the strongest duo, and it's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be like weight to it, weight behind them being a cool duo, because it's starting to show. Like you have fucking Kacchan won that fight. It was awesome, man. They still showed like, oh, he's still ahead of Midoriya because he's got like better fighting tactics. He has more experience on being a good fighter, and he even tells Midoriya, listen, you're telegraphing your kicks too much. Even though he did it like in a Vegeta-esque way, that's what he reminds me of. He reminds me a lot of Vegeta, like a Vegeta Goku type character, type bond between these two, and I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see what happens with Night Eye, and you know, I want to see what happens, what goes down between him and Midoriya and Tagada. He's another powerhouse. He looks pretty awesome. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll give this chapter a 4 out of 5. It was a good chapter, good pacing, good character development for All Might, and hopefully I got my groove back down to making these fucking videos. That's it for me. Fantard out. Bye.